Here are 5 tricks right here, which I also have them there, that I use for Codex, and why I believe Claude is not performing as well as Codex for funnel builders if you can only have one subscription. I have both and I use both for different situations. But right now, this project is really to share with you how you can take or get the most out of GPT with one $100 a month subscription. All right. So, very first thing is GPT reports. One of the most important pieces of any project is having understanding and having context of what you are working on. So what you can see here is on the left side, I'm working on a monthly recurring revenue community, and I'm working on a template. In this case was a redesign of CR7 Hercules page. And for all these pages, I need to introduce context. Otherwise, I'm just utilizing my brain energy. I don't want to do that. So the way that I do that is I use GPT, right? So in this specific case, it's not Codex or whatever. It just, I use it at medium. That's it. 5.6 medium. That's what I do. I can even do light. Like light version does this very, very well. And what I ask him is, hey, I want you to do this, that, and that. So if you want the prompts, I'll send you all the prompts in one PDF. But the most important part is to understand what it is, and then I'll give you all the prompts. Okay. Now, for the bonus ones, I'm not going to give you the prompts because these bonuses are actually inside my my program. Okay, just for my students. But anyway, very first thing is I run a page audit. I understand the market and competitor audit. I understand the target audience and profiles. I understand the position of the brand and the brand voice. I understand the offer and the architecture of the offer. I understand the transformation that that offer provides. Then this part, it's just for courses. You don't really need it. It's just about the structure, and it's useful if you are building like a membership later, but you don't really need it. Then we have a sales page strategy, the sales page strategy, what you're going to be doing, the sales page structure, and then you're going to have the sales page copy. So in this case, a pricing into your comparison, cool. I have a few more sales page copy, objections. I have a bunch of them. I'm not going to show you all of them here because those are just for the students inside AI Funnelpreneur, but I do want to share value nonetheless. So these are the 5 most important ones, or 10 most important ones. So what I do is I run a prompt, I send a prompt. You want to get access to this prompt in a PDF somewhere around this video. And then I run it and I ask it to deliver in an MD downloadable file. So when we click here, we have on the right side the structure and in an MD file of what it is and what's the main goal, etc., etc., etc. Okay, so this is not going to do the entire job for us. It is going to give context to the project. Now, here's the cool part. I do use VS Code. So VS Code allows me to create a project in a specific folder inside my computer. So I create a project or a folder, and then I add all the context right there. Okay, I don't have, for example, here I have brand voice, I have design tokens. I don't have a lot of them here because in these projects here, I didn't add it on the folder. I added it externally, but on the folder works best. So I can go ahead, extract that and put in the folder and then run it in that time. Okay, so for example, this is a template that I created. This is not for a real client. This is just me testing stuff, and of course I'm gonna make it available on the shop. So right now the shop is coming soon, but I'm gonna have a lot of these available for you to acquire. So for example, this is a membership. Everything is built, connected, and then you can go ahead and purchase it and customize it for your own specific thing. So you don't really have to think too much about the structure and the features, etc. You can already start from a template and embed it from there. Okay, So this page is what that is. So for the tricks, let's get to it. First is the reports. So all you do is make sure that you have an example, or you give an example, and then you run the prompts for all these. I'm going to give you those prompts. No need to worry about it. Then once you do that, you upload it to your page, or you give it directly to your codex, and then you say, hey, I have this, please analyze it, and then run it and implement it. Okay, so that's it. And then the next file, what you do is, let's work on top of what we already did. Please run this new file, always compare it to the previous one, and make those adjustments. Okay, so that's what you do every single new file that you run. That's the first trick. The second trick is creating motion graphics, something like you see right here. Okay, so these are very standard. There's a few that are better than others. So you see those motion graphics. This is something that you can create really, really well, very fast. And all these, they look good. They represent what it is. And it's fairly cool, to add, because one of the things that when this one I didn't even do anything there, but you can create motion graphics throughout the page that look very, very cool, that make the page alive, that drag people's attentions there, and you can also do background effects and all that stuff. So for example, here, I don't know if I have it here. Let's see, work. Yeah, I do have it here. This page is not super cool. Didn't go very well, but you see these motion graphics on the background. Those are not videos. Those are just code. So they are very smooth. They run very well, and all these no video, just code. So these icons, all that stuff, very cool. You can use it, all these motion graphics as well. So it's very cool. You can utilize it. This background as well was the exact same thing. This animation here, same thing. So all these through you asking exactly what you want, and then he delivering that. Okay, so you can create motion graphics. For the motion graphics, I'll give you a prompt for that, but you will need to give them context, but I'll give you a prompt from that. Now, don't skip the rest of the video, because it's important to understand the sequence, or how to interpret each prompt, so that you actually get the results you want. So for background images, this one is very, very cool, because most of the times what I used to do is I used to go to Figma and then FreePic and then try to research. I would spend like 20 minutes to build one image, or sometimes even more. 20 minutes was the fast version. Sometimes I would spend an hour to build an image. And I have videos live on my YouTube channel where I actually show you the step-by-step process, and sometimes it would take me an hour to build one image. Now it's much faster than that, something between 5 to 10 minutes. I can generate a bunch of images. So I'll give you the prompt for that, of course. But it's very cool. In this one, I don't think I have, but in this one I do, I believe. Let me see if I have images. Right. So you see the image on this background. I didn't download it. I didn't create it. I just asked GPT to create the image. Okay, that's it. And because we have these files with the context, I don't need to give them like a super hyper prompt. I just need to say, hey, I want to create an image. Make sure that you analyze this file, that file, and that file, and then run it. Okay, for example. And he's going to go ahead and do that for you, and he's going to create an image that fits. Okay, sometimes you go on the first try, and most of the times you go on the first try. Sometimes you're going to go on the second try or third try. But the cool thing is you can actually ask it, hey, create me 3 images, which I'm going to show you here on the overlay menu. Create me 3 images, and then create an overlay menu so that I can go ahead and understand which one I like the most. Done. So you don't really need a subscription to create images. Like a lot of people are using Higgsfield, and Higgsfield is very good. is one of the best. Art list is one of the best as well. There's a lot of them that are very cool. Higgsfield is one of the best, but nonetheless, it's another subscription. So um, you need to go ahead, connect on something somewhere else. You need to go and create it and work on the prompts to do all these things, because you see all these cool things. Well, all these cool things, they need specific prompts that you need to become very good at it. So it requires an extra level of effort. And with this process and with GPT, you don't really need that level of effort to come up with something that looks very good and that works very well. Now, next, and I'm not going to give you all those things. Next thing is about icons, right? So, for example, here I'm working on this. This is like very early stages. You can see this is very early stages, but you can create icons for pretty much anything that you want. I actually have like this one here has a few cool icons. So these icons here, they're even motion graphics. So you can create those icons specifically. You can give them a series of things. For example, let's say that in this MD file, in the membership structure, right? Gamification membership structure, which I don't have it on this video, but that is something that I'm uploading into the AI Funnelpreneur, my paid program. You can create gamifications, and it gives you in the MD file, it gives you all those different levels and stages and what they are important. You can just go there and say, hey, I want to create icons, and then it creates those kind of icons, but these are very basic, right? So you kind of want more detailed ones that don't look really like ChatGPT or don't look like Claude. So with GPT, you can create these things. You don't really need to go to a library, an icon library. I used to pay a yearly subscription to have access to an icon library, and then I would export them, and then I would recreate them on Figma, make them look very good, and try different things. It will take me like sometimes 30 minutes to create an icon, So that's why I will just need to work on one project at a time. Here, I can work on 3 projects at a time with 2 times the speed and with a lot more flexibility in terms of what you can get. Okay, that's another thing. Illustrative images and icons. So for these icons, all these icons were created with GPT, with Codex, the motion graphics as well, and the illustrative. Let me see if I have it somewhere. Yeah, these motion graphics, these images, they are very bad because I didn't care. But you can create illustrative images that represent each part with one prompt. And this is the client pipeline, this is the stage assessment. You can see this is the community, but this is without any care. This looked awful. This is without any care. But you can see examples. I'm not sure if I can have examples of this one because I didn't use a lot of images here. I actually used that one there. This one is all created with one prompt. I don't think I have an image on. Yeah, so you have these images, so this is, of course, you can see it's AI. Doesn't matter, because when you are creating when you're creating like for templates or whatever, or for portfolio, you can build this, and even if you are creating for clients, look, like these backgrounds here, they don't look bad at all. Like these backgrounds, they look very good. And for testimonials, you just ask for clients' testimonials anyway. So this is you see the doctors, all this stuff. Where is it? These motion graphics. This was very easy to create as well. Let me see. Yeah, so I don't have more examples here, but I shared those things there. So you can create illustrative images and icons. This works very, very well. And the next thing is the overlay menu. So what I mean by overlay menu is, for example, let's say that we're working on this, right? So I can simply go ahead and say, okay, let's keep going. And Now let's adjust how the section, and then I go here, looks, give me 3 design examples. Okay. All right, so basically I gave it the prompt. He worked for 9 minutes, and then he gave me 3 examples. And by the way, these 9 minutes, this is very important to understand. While you have these 9 minutes, you can be stretching, doing exercise, you can go grab some coffee, you can work on a different project, you can do prospecting and sending message to your clients, you can do whatever you want. Now, this is the cool part about having this time, is because you can utilize this time to do something else that otherwise you wouldn't when you are working with Figma or something like that. So when we have this, we just need to refresh the page. And now we have these 3 buttons, and these 3 buttons are different styles of in representations of that. So in this case, he's using the same UI UX. He's just changing the type of colors. And the main reason why is because previously I was working on that. Okay, so I didn't give him context. But when I'm working on the project and I do it in phases. The first phase is the idea, the structure. The second phase is the UI UX of each page. So I go from today to practice, reflections, etc. I can actually show you with something visual. Okay, so I have this project here, right? So this project here, I did this with following all the structures that we have here. Okay, this one I didn't. I'm not doing that. Okay, I'm trying a different method. I'm experimenting with a different method. It's going worse than the first one, but doesn't really matter. I'm experimenting to see the cons and the pros. But anyway, so in this one, I followed all these processes here. He had the context, and every time that I wanted to readjust something, it was much faster. And I work in one thing at a time. So I work on the navigation bar to understand how it's going to look, to understand what it's going to have. Then I work for the dashboard of that navigation bar. So home, I want to know exactly how it is going to look. Is it going to have some sections that are going to be, in all the other ones, like for example, the top section, right? It's going to be present in all the other ones, or does it not? What is it going to be? What is it going to contain? What is the most important thing for the user interface and the experience? And then I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to work on how to adjust every single one of these. And when I have the structure, then I work on detail. Okay, so I have the structure. Let's say the structure is this. Now I'm going to go to the stage 3 attract, and I'm going to go to this container. So this is a container, right? So I'm going to say, okay, so I want to work with a container that has these 1, 2, 3, 4 columns, and I want to readjust the user interface to test different ways to use this. And then done. He's going to give me the 3 versions, just like we have here, 1, 2, 3. But instead of just changing colors, he's actually going to readjust the interface altogether, like 3 different ways to navigate through the page, which is very cool. And then I picked the one that I like the most, and I go to the next one. Do the exact same thing here. Here I chose this style. Initially, it had the exact same style as this one, so they were very compacted and where they were there, all visible. Now here, it's not. It's like they take more space, but we can have a scroll effect, or you can click right and left. I prefer a scroll effect, but I didn't add it here. But nonetheless, that's it. Okay. And then I go to this one and that one and that one, and then I go to learn, and I go to pipeline, and I adjust the exact same things. Or I adjust a few ways to add the experience of adding something else, and I keep going, and then from there I understand what is the vision that I have for the page and what works best for that case, and then I can adjust one thing at a time, and it gives me, I have the goal, I have the idea, and then GPT is gonna give me the various different ways of achieving that idea. Okay, so this is quite fun. So the overlay menu trick, I'm gonna give you the prompt for you to use that. It's very useful when you are building. And by the way, 9 minutes to give me 3 different designs that I can pick and one that I like the most. I call it a win. And then I do the exact same thing for everything else. Now, as far as the next one, the bonus one, improve the copy. Improving copy is something that I've been adjusting it throughout the years. First, I wrote the copy myself, and then from top to bottom, I wrote the copy myself and went back again and again and again. It would take me days to do that. Then, with the role of AI, I did by phases, ideas, structure, different styles of writing copy, and then I would run each phase through the AI so that it can give me some new ideas, and then I would come up from that. Then I would have a specific prompt that would write the entire thing. That was like a year ago, and now I don't even worry too much about that because I do this job. I do this job very well, so the context is there always. And whenever I want to work on the copy, I just I just care about the design and the structure and the experience. That's the only thing I care about. You're gonna say, "Oh, you call yourself a funnel builder and care about copy." I care about copy, but the way that I do it now, it's way different. Before, I would care about copy first, and then I would, fry my brain to make it look good. Now I make it look good, and I know that the copy is gonna be awesome as well. Now these examples, they are templates. They are not to be awesome copy, but for my clients, if you want to check my portfolio, you can go there. Okay. So what I do is I understand my vision. I understand how I'm going to build it. I design it to look absolutely amazing for each specific thing. So I don't just prioritize design. I prioritize the experience, what people will need to have. So for example, in this section here, right? The problem, you already know more than you think. So all I want to do here is, if I would take this as an example, you already know more what you think. So what is the most important part that the user needs to take from here in like a second or two? I need to know that this page actually knows what I feel. Okay. So you already know more than you think. And then I'll say conflicted advice. This is bad copy. So it should not be conflicted advice. It should be a specific thing that I already know and all that stuff, right? So you already know this and that and that, and then from there, those things, people are gonna see this, people are gonna see the image, and they need to understand. They need to build a trust meter. Like, yeah, this is exactly how I feel, because then they're gonna go back and they're gonna go read these other things, and this is where you have the opportunity to handle objections and to build rapport. Okay, so the structure is, this is how you get attention, and they don't really care at all about this. Like, from 1 to 10, they would be like at a 2. Okay, so I don't care, you know more than anything. Okay, cool. And then they are going to go through this and that and that. So here they care a 3 out of 10 if you do a good job. Here they care a 6 out of 10 if you do a good job. And here they care a 10 out of 10 if you do a good job. If you don't, they stay at 1 out of 10. Right? So the process on this structure is, you need to develop the story in terms of understanding how the user behaves, understanding how they think, so that you can use specific copy for these scenarios, so that you can build rapport, so that you can grab their attention, you build their sense of belonging, and then they go back and they say, okay, let me really see if they really understand me, and they read the extra detail, more detail, more detail. So the story, of course, it needs to read very well from top to bottom, but you always need to have in mind the chunking. The chunking is where you divide it by the most important pieces, and then you elaborate from there. Okay, now don't have this copy in mind, because this copy is just a template. Okay, so that's the main thing. I don't want to make this a 40-minute masterclass on copy, etc., etc. I'm just sharing you my new way of building. Works very, very well. It has not shown a decrease on conversions at all. Okay, so before, I would write the entire copy and design for it. Then I would write a copy, sequential, and optimize it. Then I would write the entire copy in different styles and then add a design to it. Now I'm working on the user experience, the journey first through the design, so making it look good and having the in mind the user experience. That's my main goal, and then I add great copy for each one. Okay, so that's what I do now, and it does very well. But here's the thing: improve copy. How do I improve the copy? Well, I actually have a file with psychology tricks, with very important frameworks that combine two things. They combine um, they are things extracted from how to build a code, or how to build rapport, or how to connect emotionally, or how to unlock person emotionally. They have fundamentals there, and how to sell. They also have fundamentals on how to sell. So those things, that's a file that I created. I've been created for the past 12, 14 months, and optimizing it, because that's one thing that I do. Whenever I see that something works, I add it into a doc. Okay. But anyway, long story short, I have a specific doc that I've been developing over time, that I call it, sorry, I call it the craft of selling. And I run that at the end of the project, at the end of at the end of each section. At the end of each section, I like this, good. I go ahead and design everything, right, and then I come back and I want to refine and understand everything is good. So then I go section by section, and I optimize the copy. So I run I run that specific MD file, and I give them an instruction like, I want to make sure that I optimize this for this goal. Okay, so it's not 100% automatic, because you need to know exactly what you are looking for. So you need to understand what you are looking for, but it spends a lot less brain energy, so that you can allocate that to build more projects, to help more people, to whatever, to get more clients. And the copy is very, very good. It's brilliant. Okay. Anyway, that's what I do. I have I have those files saved on a specific folder. Let me see if I can share these. I don't think I can. I just don't want to overshare. Anyway, I think I can share these, right? Okay, so here. Yeah, so I have these files on this specific doc, where this is what I've been implementing and improving throughout, these past 12, 14, some of them 18 months. Okay, so the craft of selling, it's one of them. Then we have quiz framework, because I use a lot of quizzes, so this is important. I always want to optimize the quiz. This one I very rarely do, the pre-launch QA. I very rarely do. It's just for bigger projects. It's basically before I launch, he analyzes, step by step of the entire journey and gives me a full report. Order page MD, I use this frequently. So basically, order page is one of the most important parts, and I know how to build another page. But if you have a file that has all the different things, and doesn't forget about anything, then you can spend less energy, and then like, okay, cool, I need to add this thing. Okay. CRO checklist. This is a quick checklist audit that I run. Digital course page, order page. This was a test. I don't use it anymore. I still use the order page MD. What else? CTA urgency swipe file. Sometimes I use it to test different CTAs, but I only use that for A/B tests. Conversion wireframes, I don't know. I don't use that anymore. I don't use this anymore. This is for very specific things. Claude writing style, I don't use that. This was a test. Checkout flow guide, I used that for a couple of times. I don't use it anymore for now. Check our order form. This was the very first that I did. Now I just use the order page instead of checkout order form, because it has this thing. It has inside it here. Then I have a folder with the exact same thing, just for my audience, for funnel builders. Then just for my designs. Content scrape is basically where every single time that I find a good piece of content, I edit there for context. Content, all my files I use for content, and brand voice, all the files I use for my own brand voice for my own market. Anyway, without revealing too much, there was a AI Slop list. The AI Slop list is basically a checklist that I run before any copy, revision, etc. I run that checklist to try to find things that might have missed that they are considered AI slop. So for example, in this specific case, what can you detect there is AI slop? Well, this, that, right? Those things are considered AI slop. These are things that are considered AI slop. So you run that, you analyze it, and there we go. Anyway, this video is already 30 minutes, and I already talked about the CRO checklist. I already talked about improve the copy for ebooks. Maybe I'll just do a different video about this, but essentially, you can create ebooks. You can create ebooks with GPT, with specific prompts, and that's how I've been creating my courses for myself and for my clients, because it's not AI that builds the course, it designs it for you. So basically, one of the things that I hated the most when I was building ebooks and stuff, it would take me days and days and days, and a lot of procrastination was actually designing those things, because I hate editorial design. I just hate it. So it takes me a lot of energy, and now I don't care, because it's not me doing it, it's GPT. So I give him specific instructions with everything that he needs to know, with the book and the lessons that I did, and I just send it and he does his thing. Okay, that's what it is. Much faster. Now I'm even doing this job and this work for my clients as well. Last week I just built 2 ebooks for one of my clients that he's using to run some lead gen campaigns. Anyway, very long video. Hopefully you got a lot of value from that. If you like to join the AI Funnelpreneur, feel free to do so, because here you have tons more than just these 30 minutes. And in the bonus modules, you have a lot more. And today I'm even going to launch a full new course on funnels for 2026. So yeah, go ahead. If you like this kind of stuff, join us, and voila, have fun. And if you want the prompts that I use here, it should be somewhere around this video description or on the floating link. I don't know, just depending on where you are seeing it. Cheers.